Okay, I'm going to switch gears and we are going to do something else. If you're still working on your pencil value forms, I just want you to freeze. Okay, and we're going to go over some other stuff. So I am recording this because we have some people missing. Sometimes when I do like a demonstration and I know if people are missing, then I can just record it and then send them a YouTube video link, and then I don't have to explain it 100 more times. Get it? Okay. So
Wait, can they hear you?
they can hear me and they can hear you. Yeah. So hi.
Hi, Peyton.
Okay. So
What's up, whoever's watching this?
okay. Didn't know this was gonna be such a big deal. We are gonna go over how to blend with
Color.
colored pencil. Okay. Here's the thing. Same concepts apply in terms of how do you blend. We just darken and lighten in different ways. Okay. So somebody throw out your favorite color.
Purple.
Okay.
Black. Purple.
Okay.
Purple.
This one's on top, so I'm gonna go with this. Purple. There are different ways you could lighten purple. If I gave you purple paint and I said, I want you to mix this with any color you choose and I want you to lighten it, what would you pick?
White.
Right, okay, so white. It makes like that lilac color. That's very simple. What if you're working on white paper and you're working with a color pencil like purple? What do?
You can do lighter shades of that color.
Okay,
Or not draw hard.
right. So, everybody see this? So we know we could still press hard, and then we could press lighter, and we can still get that same effect, just like we do with our pencil. So that's how that works. I know our people that are not here can't see this, but the color wheel back there, I want you to look at that. When you mix paints and when you mix colored pencil, the same rules apply. So we are working with purple. It's at the bottom of the color wheel. Here's the rule. Use colors next to it to darken or lighten it. Okay? So, this is like a trick question, by the way. So if I'm looking at purple, what am I going to use to darken it?
Indigo.
Indigo red. Indigo red.
Okay. Is red or purple naturally darker?
Purple.
Purple.
Okay. So would I darken purple with red?
No.
No. Okay.
Darker purple with purple.
Black.
Darken purple with purple. I told you this is a trick question. This is a hard one to start with. So what is a lighter version of red?
Pink.
Pink. Okay, so that's where technically I'm going to use the color next to it, and I could still lighten it with pink. Okay. Where did I start this pink?
Right where it started.
In the dark.
I started all the way in the dark. Why do you think I did that?
So it blends so the color naturally fades.
You guys are like rock stars. It's Friday afternoon, yet you're still using your brain. Okay, too many people make this mistake. If we're going to blend colored pencils together and we want it to look seamless, the problem is people do this. Well, this is the lighter area, so I'm just going to add it there. And then they stop. Okay, it's not like the end of the world. It's not horrendous. But you can kind of see how it gives us that section area. So although I did the work with my colored pencil, my purple, and I went from dark to a light nicely, and then I add that other color in, and then it just kind of ruined it. So how can I darken purple? Look at the color wheel.
With the purple.
Blue is next to it. Blue is the answer. Here's the deal. We have a lot of shades of blue. Which one of these is darker, the purple or the blue?
The purple.
Okay, the purple. So this is why this is a trick question. Not always, like in colors, especially like purple, do the rules apply. Meaning, if I use black really lightly, it'll give me a darker purple look. Like I'm pressing this light, okay, like barely visible. And I just kind of scrub that in until I like how dark it is, okay? And you can kind of see those two purples. Can you? Oh, on the screen. Can you see like this one is a little darker? Sometimes it's hard like on the screen to actually see things.
The glare doesn't work.
Perfect. That's helpful, isn't it? We could kill the lights a little
There
bit.
we go.
Okay.
Oh, check that out.
So you can kind of see how this purple darkens. Here's what you don't want to do. You know, start using your black like this, because then the black is too powerful, and this is where people mess up with black. That's why I really tell people don't use black unless it's like necessary. Let's talk about other color schemes though, if I can find a red. How can you light and darken red?
Pink and
Okay,
purple.
pink is an option. There's your red.
Just make it like orange, kind of dark, kind of yellow. Yeah.
Somebody said you can darken it with purple, correct?
Yeah.
Yep, that's true. Okay, so red. I found this tiny red. So you still have to do the work of a regular pencil, going from a dark to a medium to a light. Huh?
It's just really slow.
Oh, okay. Okay, so that's red. Now the point is though to use other colors to enhance the red without changing it completely, unless that's what you're after. If I said add red onto an apple, would you use pink to lighten it?
No.
No, probably not. What would you use?
Orange.
You'd probably use like orange and yellow tones, okay? There are a lot of apples that have that. So I'm going to start with my orange back here, farther back than when I need it, and I'm just kind of lightly pushing in there. If I wanted to brighten it up even more at this end, I would put in some yellow, okay? You're really only going to see like the yellow tones where the color is the lightest. How would I darken red if I were working with this orange scheme? I just showed you the answer. I probably would darken it with a little brown. Now, like I said, the goal is from a distance that this looks red.
That looks red.
Okay. If you ever start mixing things and you think, oh my goodness, I added these other colors in and I changed the color too much, you can always just go back over with red, which is not a bad thing anyways, just to kind of help blend and fill in even more blank spots. Okay.
So don't press really dark when you
That's
go
enough for a second.
color.
Yeah, just don't press down too hard. All right, we're going to go over a couple other color schemes really fast. Just like the purple, the blue, you can darken and lighten just with the color of the paper. How else could you lighten blue? If you looked at our color wheel, which is dark now. Okay, you could use green. It would take you into a whole different color scheme. This might be good. Where could you see this being helpful using green to lighten your blue?
Water.
Okay, water. Sometimes it picks up greens, especially like if there's greens around it. You could just use the white of the paper. How would you darken blue?
Purple. Purple or black.
Okay, this is a trick question. This blue we have
Darker blue.
is a really light blue. You would want to use a naturally darker blue. What's darker than the darkest blue there is?
Purple.
Basically only
Black.
black. Okay, so when you darken blue, some colors you have to kind of turn into the black. It's never wrong to use black to darken your color, even like red. Okay, if I did another red right here, and then I darkened it with black, it just changes the color tone a little bit. You can see that. It makes it more probably of a maroon-ish color. You can take your red and darken it with purple. You can darken your red with blue. Okay, you just want to think about, I'm going to show you our color wheel here fast. This is a color wheel, right? So these are our primary colors. You have to have these first. Primary, the word primary means first. These are our secondary colors. They mean second. Weird. Okay? So these two make orange, these two make green. Basically, any color that's like, especially if you look like this, these three work together really naturally, these three work together naturally. But also then the colors next to it work together. Okay? That's like a kind of a confusing concept, but they do. We'll talk more about that later when we paint, because we're going to paint. But what you are going to do, and I have a sheet where I've worked with a lot of like different colors. Okay, what you're going to do is you are going to do some color pencil blending. You're going to go from dark to a medium to a light. All right? I used to make you do some value scales, and those are boring, so we're not going to do that. It's good to do it with a pencil first, and get a feel for things, but we're just gonna not do that. What we are going to do is we are going to do a couple value forms. Weird. Here's what you have to do. You have to do the sphere, and then you can choose cylinder or cone. Okay? Pick one. I don't care which one you pick. All right. I'm just going to go with the cylinder right now. You're going to use this white paper, and I want to show you one other thing. I want these to be different color schemes. A lot of you, as I walk around, I look at shadows of your sphere. Make sure that your light source and your shadow are opposites, but also that your shadow comes and sits right under the object. Why is that important? Too often I see like a shadow that looks like this. Kind of looks like a tongue sticking out. Okay, that's okay. That's a normal mistake. Why is it important for the shadow to come right under here?
So it looks like this.
Yeah, the shadow, the purpose of the shadow is so it looks like it's sitting on the table. Okay, stay with me for a minute. So you are going to add your, let's do red. You are going to add your color. Draw it with a pencil first, and then go from a dark to a medium to a light. You will still use your cross-hatching technique to make your pencil lines look like they blend. I'm going to start my orange back farther than I need it and bring it out. I'm going to do the same thing with my yellow. I'm going to darken with my brown. I might go back over it with my red just to be sure. Okay, but we're using other colors to naturally kind of show off the lightness and the darkness. Here's what you have to do. Everybody look up here. I have these things called blending pencils. Okay, blending pencils. They are not magic pencils. What they do, I'll try to do it just on this bottom half. They're not a huge, difference maker in how something looks. But does anybody see what it's kind of doing?
It's making the colors fade a lot better.
Okay, how is it doing that?
Enhancing.
It's enhancing the color. It's a colorless colored pencil. It's enhancing the color though because it's basically shoving the color into the white spaces. So I still did the work of blending the color myself. This just, if you want to use these, they're in the container, and they help just kind of blend things a little bit. Here's what they will not do. Okay, if you apply your color like this, and again, you got to trust me when I say I do things like this because somebody's done this to me. And then you say, Mr. Steinbach, your blending pencils are terrible. Okay, that's because they don't work that way. They're not magic. Okay, you still have to do it. Make sense? So if you're gonna do red here, do blue or green or purple or something else on your sphere. I'm gonna show you some really quick student examples that are finished. These are you can see how the cross-hatching, how they got those. Again, the things I'm looking for are blended pencil lines and then major contrast. Here's one where somebody did all three. You can do a pink, that's totally fine. Here's another one where they use purple pinks. The goal is to be able to move from doing forms and putting pencil in real life objects. Okay, and it has that realistic kind of look. Okay, so that's why we do the forms first, because they're easier. Okay, if you're done with your pencil value forms, I'm going to put the colored pencil. You see that drawing supplies cabinet? I left it open for a reason. That's where the colored pencils are. Here's my rule about colored pencils. They cannot sharpen in my electric pencil sharpener. You must use these little handheld guys. These are actually really nice ones. They're kind of heavy duty. The reason is colored pencils gunk up electric pencil sharpeners, and that bad boy costs $60. Okay, so we're going to for a pencil sharpener, that's expensive, right? So we're going to be nice to it. But all that stuff is in your drawing supplies cabinet, and then the white paper's underneath. Any questions? Yeah.
Have we ever pencil, colored pencils?
Yeah, you can use them. I don't care. Yeah, that's fine. So the sphere, and then pick a different one. Yeah? Everybody's good. You're we got this. Okay, let's go.